Hi, and welcome to For You Fitness Television. I'm glad you're here today. We have a really cool, awesome program today. This is going to be a continuation from our wellness debt concept. And you know what? Just to always go back to the foundational truths, we here at For You Fitness are about the total concept of wellness. We want you to be well spiritually, first and foremost. We want you to be well intellectually. We want you to be well emotionally. We want you to be well physically. If you put all those together, we are said to be in a state of wellness. Wellness being defined as the absence of illness. We could be ill in any of those areas and we would not be well overall. So I want you to be well in all those areas. Give attention each day to all those areas and be balanced in that. And be well, friends, be well. Now, today, I want to direct you to a passage as we continue this idea of the wellness assessment regarding our personal wellness debt. I want to direct you to a passage found in the book of Matthew, chapter 14, and I'm going to read to you just 2 verses today. And these are so power-packed, and there's a subtle principle in here that pertains to what we're talking about that few really catch. Now, listen carefully in Matthew chapter 14, verse 22 and verse 23. Now this is the setting behind this. Jesus has just done the incredible miracle of feeding 5,000 people with just a couple of fish and a few loaves of bread. An amazing miracle. And then he does something here in these 2 verses that's incredibly powerful, and sometimes we look over it and we need to look into it more to find this powerful truth. Now listen, verse 22. Immediately, this is after feeding the 5,000, Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side while he dismissed the crowd. After he had dismissed them, the crowd and the disciples, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. When evening came, he was there alone. Now I'm going to continue to stop right there. Now we know after that Jesus walked on water, okay, when Peter said, "Who is it?" But I want you to back up to this 2 concepts here in verse 22 and verse 23. The first one said, he dismissed everybody, the crowd. He told the disciples to get in the boat, and he got away by himself to pray. And then the idea of him being alone. Now we know this is Jesus. There is a human side of him, and we know that he was fully God and fully man. But he got away by himself. Now, let me ask you something, friends. If Jesus got away by himself, don't you think he valued the idea of time? Now I'm going to talk to you today about the concept of budgeting time. Time is important. Jesus valued time. If he got away by himself and shared precious time, don't you think that we should share precious time in the same way Jesus did? Because we know he is the ultimate example of what we strive to be, and through the empowerment of the Holy Spirit, we can be just like that. So we need to spend time alone, time with our Father, quiet time. You know what? Sometimes we say, well, time is money. We've heard this before in the business world. Time is money. My time is valuable. You said that too, I know. Time is money. Time's important. And sometimes we said, I don't have time. We put such an incredible value on time. The best illustration, a practical illustration I can give you about value is this. You can see in my hand right now, I have, I was kidding around about, I haven't seen one of these too much. This is a Ben Franklin, known as the $100 bill. It's worth how much? Of course, it's worth $100. And we value this thing so much, we say, well, it's worth $100. But if I take this $100 bill and I begin to just smash it and wad it up in my hand, just like this, some of you are going, oh, don't do that. Don't hurt him. Don't hurt that value. But I'm smashing it up. I pull it back out of my hand. What do you see in my hand right now? You still see a $100 bill, which is worth how much? Of course, $100. But if I take this thing and I were to smash it more, and let's just pretend that I throw this on the ground and I stomp on it. After I stomp on it, I pick it up, I look at it, I try to unroll it, but it's really smashed right now. And I ask it a question, what do you see in my hand right now? Well, you would say, of course, I see a $100 bill, which again is worth how much? You get it, $100. I've even used this illustration before in school assemblies and continued it on with smashing it in my hand, jumping on it, stomping on it, even have a student come up and dance on it. I've even continued it one step further, and sometimes when I'm doing the feat of strengths, like tearing a phone book or rolling up a frying pan or bending steel, I kind of get sweaty because I'm working hard, and I've been known before, I know you can't imagine this, to wipe a piece of money like this over my forehead or even under my arms, and it gets all sweaty and nasty. And then I ask the students, I say, well, you know what is this worth now? And every single student, teacher, all of them alike say the same thing. Well, it's still worth $100. See, they get the concept that no matter what this $100 bill goes through, it's still worth the same. We still value this thing the same. We put such an incredible value on it, and we don't waste this. I've even carried this illustration one step further in a big crowd of people and said, who wants this? Who wants this $100 bill? And invariably, the students, or sometimes the teachers, if you will begin to scream and say, I want it, I want it. And I say, do you really want it? Is it really valuable to you? Is it really worth it? And they, of course, scream, yes, I want it. And I say, well, it's yours. Just get it. Just take control of it. Use it. And I wait, and I wait, and I wait. And I wait to see if someone will come up and grab that money. And invariably someone will. When they grab the money, you can see them kind of looking around. They're kind of edging out of their seat. They're going forward. They think, am I going to get in trouble? And you know what? They don't get in trouble. They get more rich because they have valued this so much that they wanted to go pursue that thing, no matter what it went through. This money can go through all kinds of stuff. It does not change value. But when we say time is money, to kind of segue back to that concept, do we really value time the way we value money? We wouldn't throw this away, would we? Would we just take this and pitch it out the window of a car driving down the street? Would we take it and throw it down the garbage disposal and see what the garbage disposal teeth would do to this $100 bill? Would we take it and throw it in our trash can? Of course not. We value this so much that no matter what it goes through, the value doesn't change. And guess what? The value of time does not change either. As a matter of fact, the value of time does not even compare to the value of money. I hold in my hand $100. But you know what, as I think about this very concept, people that run out of time would pay hard-earned money to get more time back. They realize time is valuable. Time is so valuable, Jesus put a premium on time. He was God in the flesh, walking around healing people, preaching, encouraging, teaching, and yet he still took time for himself. He valued time. You see, sometimes we don't catch it. Sometimes we're afraid to put a premium on time. We put premium on money. We spend our whole life working for money. I want more, I want more, I want more. And guess what? I've never seen, not one time, a trailer hitch on the back of a hearse. Well, that's saying you can't take it with you. See, we can make all this we want, but we can't take it with you. Time is the same thing. In Ecclesiastes, it's been said there's a time to be born and a time to die. In the book of Psalms, it talks about life being a vapor. You know, it's here today, it's gone tomorrow. It's like a beautiful flower that grows up and it begins to blossom. It looks so beautiful, so awesome, but at the end of the season, it dies. There's a season of life, and it consists of time. Every day, we are given time. It's a precious gift. 1,440 minutes per day we are given. How do we utilize time? Do we utilize time in a way to relieve ourselves of wellness debt? If you remember, we went through our whole concept, the whole idea of a debt assessment regarding our wellness, and we all realized, well, we need to address certain areas, whether it be 2, 10, or 12. And we need to allocate or budget some time to address those areas because we know that time's important. I encourage you to understand the concept of wellness because wellness, being totally well spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, and physically, is about increasing the quantity and the quality of our time. Not our money, our time. If the time we have is so precious and so valuable, and we even say, time is money, money is time. Friends, let me get the point right. Jesus himself valued time more than anything. He says the time is short. The time is short. Do what you have right now. Maximize your time. Utilize your time. 1,440 minutes. How are we budgeting our time? Are we throwing it away? I'll submit this to you. Sometimes I believe, and I'm talking to myself first because my hand goes up, I have thrown away time and just not valued it the way I should. I have valued money more than time. You know what? Time is much more valuable than money. You can ask anybody that has wasted time to try to get time back. They couldn't have enough Ben Franklins to buy that time back. There's no way. The time is gone. Time needs to be so important to us, just like it was Jesus. He got away by himself. One of the best ways to spend 1 minute of that 1,440 minutes per day is to simply take a minute to be quiet. Just be quiet. I want to encourage you right there where you are right now, just to be quiet. Just be quiet and just listen. Because sometimes when we're quiet in that moment, in that time, we begin to hear things. We begin to hear the voice of God. You know, this is what Jesus did. He got away by himself. He got away by himself so we could hear. He got rid of the clutter. He could not have loved people any more than he does. He can't love me and he can't love you any more than he does right now. Because while we were at our worst, while we were sinners, he died for us. You know what? Even he wanted to get away by himself to spend time with his Father. He lived by example what we need to be. It's okay to say no. Because many times we find ourselves in the world of Christianity feeling like we have to say yes all the time. But you know what? It's not about saying yes all the time, because sometimes if we say yes all the time, the very person we're saying no to is ourselves and or our Father. You know what? If the devil can get you so busy, so consumed with trying to accumulate this, that we devalue the concept of time, guess what? He wins, because we're not spending any time with our Father. Any time with our Father. Now, I've just given you a brief overview of this concept of time from Matthew 14, 22 and 23. There's much, much more on the website. There is an article on there I want you to catch. It's called Managing Personal Risk. There's an article on there entitled 1,440 Minutes. I want you to visit that website. Much more information there. Let me talk to you a minute about this concept of time budgeting or making a time budget. You know, as I look around, I see tombstones and headstones. I see the names of people, dates, beginnings and ends. I see the word dad, the word mother, father. Between the two dates, I see crosses, I see praying hands, I see many of them, this thing that's a dash. It's significant, as we know, of time spent between the time we're here and the time we're not here. It's a very important time, and sometimes we reflect on that looking past versus looking forward into the now. And I want us to take a moment to shift our perspective to really look at the time now as we make this time budget. You see, you and me, all of us are given the same amount of time every day. 1,440 minutes. We get that time a day to spend any way we want. We can choose to use those minutes in any way, shape, or form or fashion we want. As we look at our time budget and make that thing, I want us to really be careful with intent. Look at those minutes and how we're spending those towards the reduction or elimination of that thing called wellness debt. We want to utilize our minutes to reduce that debt so we can increase something called wellness equity, increasing the quantity and the quality of our life. Time is precious. Let's don't spend our time looking back with regret on how we spent those minutes, but looking forward to how we're going to spend those minutes right now. It's important. We need to reduce wellness debt. It's a killer. We need to bring life. Let's increase that dash, that time spent here. Let's make it worth it. Let's be valuable and with intent to do that. Wow, that really puts a different twist on the concept of time, doesn't it? You know, that's such a powerful truth, and we spend our whole time trying to make more of this, and we know that this will not give us more time. It's kind of a strange, ironic twist. We somehow have deceived ourselves that more of this makes more of this. But in reality, the more we pursue this, in truth, we are spending less on this. When we invest in this in time, guess what? We can guarantee that we're going to get more time. You know, Jesus himself used the example in Matthew chapter 14 of the premium value in time. And let me just re-encourage you with this. Every person is paid the same amount of time. There are no more minutes in a day, but there could be less. How we spend those minutes is totally up to us. I can't make you keep this channel on right now. I can't make you turn your computer off. You choose how you spend your minutes every single day. Every day we have that time budget. It is amazing that I've had people go through this time budget, and on our website there's a place you can get your time and budget that on there. And I want you to do that. Where are the minutes spent the day? How are they spent? Is there wasted time throughout the day? Time is precious. You don't get any more. How we spend that time is so critical. Many times people have looked at that budget and go, wow, I can't believe that I wasted so much time watching something on television that just was totally not constructive, doing something that was totally not constructive. Time is so valuable, friends. You know what? I want you to understand. We even get the concept of this financially. You know, most people will teach, well, you gotta, you know, give God the first fruits. Give Him 10%. Give into the offerings of ministries and to help people. We understand that. And, you know, pay yourself some too. To build a savings account of that money. Pay your bills. Don't get in so much debt. We understand that concept. As we transition from the concept of escaping wellness debt, we need to understand the concept of building equity. Equity in our wellness equals equity in time. The more time we can spend with our Father alone, the more time we'll find that we'll have for everyone else. It's one of these propositions that's so amazing and almost sounds too good to be true, but the more time we invest in this right here, the more time we'll find we can invest in people. Guess what? This is an endless supply. An endless supply. You can't get enough. We need to spend time with God right here, and in turn have the energy and the ability to have more time for other people. Time is important. Time is invaluable. There is no dollar amount for it. Ask those people that left this earth if they could come back and do anything different. They would probably say, for the most part, I wish I would have valued time more wisely and spent it better. Along those lines, I always take a couple minutes in a program to tell you about some tools we have. Tools we have that will help you really understand the need to spend your time wisely. Spending time wisely is spend your time doing things that are really important and constructive. As we know, as a matter of fact, there's a real correlation between activity and between emotional health. And we know there's a connection between emotional health when you're in a place of calm, to intellectual health. And we know that when you're in a place where you're quiet, you're able to receive. We know at that point in time that we're able to receive from God better. And we know the stress level goes down and God fills us up so we can go back out and do. These right here, these activity DVDs are designed to be easy to follow, simple, seamless, to take you from a place of inactivity to a place of activity to eventually a place of exercise. Now there's 3 different levels: the basic, the intermediate, and the advanced. The basic is super simple. It's for everybody. If you can walk, you can do this. I guarantee you that. There are 14 workout sessions or 14 activity sessions over a 4-week period. You don't have to do it every day. I don't want you doing it every day. I just want you to build good habits. These are life-changing, habit-forming activity DVDs that will change your life. This is time budgeted and time spent wisely. Once you transition from the basic, you go to the intermediate, and eventually you can move to the advanced. Now the advanced is not for everybody. Only after you've been successful through the basic and the intermediate should you even attempt this advanced. Do not jump into this one first unless you are a person that has mastered exercise. You're very accustomed to exercise. We also have these meal replacement bars. You know, many times I see people literally spending their money on junk or junk food. This is not junk food. This is incredible quality nutrition that even kids can eat after school. I would rather see a kid eat this after school than something else. We need to eliminate the overconsumption of donuts and high sugars. This is a 1 gram of sugar substitute, and I guarantee you, your children, you are going to love this. I have people that utilize these things from the youngest to the oldest, and every one of them said these are great, incredibly tasting meal replacement bars. They are packed full of omega-3s and high fibers, which we personally need for the well-being of our life. We also have the herbal fat burner called Burn. It is something that you take 2 in the morning before your first meal and 2 before your second meal. It will help utilize your carbohydrates more efficiently, therefore increasing your ability to burn calories or burn food as energy faster, increasing your metabolism. This is something you want to always take with you. If you're trying to lose a couple of unwanted pounds of fat, this is a good place to start. Activity plus good nutrition, and you'll find you'll get good results, and you'll be able to think more clearly about how you budget your time. And last, we have the protein powder supplement drink. This is something they have 2 flavors, chocolate milk. You mix this in water. You can mix it in milk, skim milk, or 1% or 2%, whatever your preference would be. Some people even make this thing with smoothies. Incredible tasting, very high quality, nutrient-dense protein supplement. This is something that beats high-fat protein supplements out there. This is something that everybody needs. You can take this. It's very, very easy. Put this into your normal nutrition plan throughout the day to help you increase the frequency of your meals so we can eat 4 to 5 to 6 frequent meals per day and keep our metabolism at its optimum best. Now, you know, many times I enjoy coming into congregations and churches all over the country and all over the world and encouraging the body of Christ to be all they can be. I talked to them about time budgeting and time management and really managing your personal risk, because life's about really managing your probabilities. Do I do this? Do I not do this? We calculate the odds, if you will. It's like the old song goes, you weigh out the hand that you're holding and know when to hold them and know when to fold them and all of that kind of thing. We manage those probabilities through life. And I encourage the congregations, I want to come to your church, I want to come to your congregation and encourage you with this whole concept of how to get out of wellness death, how to budget your time, how to eliminate or reduce stress, how to develop something called wellness. This is something the body of Christ needs today. I like to say it's the missing piece. And I'm not spelling peace, P-I-E-C-E. I'm spelling peace, P-E-A-C-E. We need to spend our time wisely, because the body of Christ is designed to meet together and then go out and be the church. Not just talk about it, but be the church. These tools will help you, but I want to help you and come there personally and encourage you to get outside those walls. Now, sometimes I also do the feet of strength. So I'll bend steel and I'll I'll do the hot water balls, I'll break bricks, I'll tear phone books, roll up frying pans, do that kind of stuff, and that is an outreach tool. You can utilize that to draw people in. Some people might show up to church just to see something kind of extreme like that, and they'll be surprised to find out that they're going to receive the greatest gift of all, the gift of salvation of Jesus Christ. Now, that is an outreach opportunity that I have. I would love to come into your church and preach and teach and encourage you and inspire you and motivate you in what I like to call an in-reach and an outreach event. I do a lot of those, and it would be a blessing to come into your church and do that. You know what? Time you spent for the last few moments with me, I know has been wisely spent, because I know in my heart that God has directed you to listen to this today. He's directed you, and He's inspiring you, and He's speaking to you. It's not me, it's Him. He's speaking to you to budget that time wisely. Take this serious. Get on the website, download that, and budget your time. Time is critical, friends. We have time on this earth right now. If you are listening to this right now, that means you have something precious called time. Time is more valuable than any amount of money. I want you to utilize your time wisely. I need you to utilize your time wisely. We need to utilize our time wisely, because guess what? Time is short. One day, Jesus is coming back. But in the meantime, while we're here on this earth, we need to be Jesus to the world. People need to see a difference. I talked many times about example. Guess what? You are an example. How you use your time. How do you spend your time? Is it spent doing fruitless things, or is it spent doing the things of God? Do you spend time with God? Do you spend 10 or 15 minutes with Him just listening to Him every day? Do you spend time in His Word? Many times people say to me, I don't hear God speaking. Maybe it's because we're not listening. We're too busy. Time has got the best of us. Time is a gift, friends. It's a wonderful gift. Every moment we have on earth is the best moment we have to share love and to share the good news of Jesus Christ. I'm glad that you spent the time with me today. I'm just so honored to get to speak to you, to be right there in your living rooms with you. It's important to understand that every moment, every single breath that we take is a gift. God bless you. Spend your time wisely. Budget that time wisely. I love you.